Hi, welcome back to my channel. I have been gone for a few weeks. I had a total knee replacement and I am doing so much better now. I have tried to make a video a couple of times and I just wasn't well enough. So here I am today feeling much better and ready to show you some of my items that sold over the past 3 weeks. Of course, I'm not going to show everything because there were a lot of sales while I was out. My son has been running the business all by himself. So I'm going to get right into what we have sold. First, I just wanted to thank everybody for all of their support and love and prayers. I really appreciate it. Let's get started with this first item. It is called a Bernina sewing machine part. So always check out the sewing machine parts because these little parts can sell for pretty good money. I picked this one up along with another one of this same brand, but it was a different part at a garage sale, and I paid $1 for each one of them. And this one just sold for $105. This is the second Master Crafters clock that I picked up and sold. The first one I picked up, I believe, for $25 at a garage sale, and I think I sold it for $99 or $125, something like that. This one I picked up at an estate sale. This one is called Swinging Playmates, and so they actually swing back and forth. Paid $40 at an estate sale and it sold for $145, and I only had it listed for a week or two. This is a Barbie shopping fun Barbie. The box is not in good condition. I actually opened it up and took all the papers out so I could show them what it looked like because there was some water damage on the box and the papers. But it still sold. The Barbie and all the accessories were in excellent condition. I paid $10 for this and it sold for $25. I picked up this vintage Irish cream Colgate shaving cream for $1.50 at an estate sale, and it sold for $20. This was a really good pickup. I was at a garage sale. Unfortunately, I got there a little bit late and somebody had already made these huge piles of stuff. These people just wanted to get rid of their stuff and they were selling it between $1 and $5. I picked up this leapfrog set. It had a whole bunch of different games and books with it. I paid $2 for it and it sold for $85. So these old leapfrogs are still selling, so you should still look at them and pick them up. I purchased a whole bunch of Monster High dolls all in one lot at an estate sale. I did pay $20 each for them, and they've been doing really, really well. I've had them for about a year or so. So I have $20 into this one, and this one sold for $76. This is the second Rubik's Cube I have sold in the past couple months. I picked this one up for $1, and it sold for $18. Here's another Barbie. I paid $10 for this one. This is a swim and dive Barbie, and this one sold for $27. This HeroScape lot was at an estate sale I went to, and the full price that they had on it was $75. I was going to go back the next day and see if they still had it for half off with some other items that I was going to pick up as well. And so I went the next day and they did have it half off. They had it for $37.50. I've had it listed for about a month or two, and it just sold for $220. Keep your eyes open for these HeroScape items because they can do really well. I picked up a whole bunch of Snoopy and Snoopy's friend Belle and Woodstock clothes from an estate sale probably about 6 or 7 months ago. And I paid $400 for the whole lot, but I sure got a lot of stuff, and I have sold so many items out of it. I still have quite a few listed, and I still have more that I need to list. It actually has a little wardrobe trunk, and then it has a bunch of clothing. And in this one, I actually did include a little Snoopy plush. So I have $23 into this lot, and this one sold for $159. Here is another lot. This is Snoopy's Belle clothing, and I have $8 into this, and this one sold for $30. This dollhouse kit is all made of wood. There are probably hundreds and hundreds of pieces in it. I found it at a garage sale, and it was brand new. and I paid $20 for it, and it ended up finally selling for $76. I've had it probably close to a year. Okay, check this out. Don't throw your empty boxes away when you buy electronic stuff. Always look online first to see if there is a selling market for it. This is something that we had purchased for ourselves. It is the Remarkable 2 paper tablet, and I ended up selling it for $22.47. This was something that I was just going to throw in our recycling bin. So look online first, because some people are selling these tablets used, but they want the box just to make it look more complete. Here is a book I picked up for $2. This is the Howe's Historical Collection of Ohio. And I haven't had it listed that long, maybe about a month, and it has sold already for $35. This 1980 Pink Floyd poster is not the original one from this concert. I believe this one was made a year later. So when I grabbed this, I thought it was the original one, which would have sold for, I think it was $300 or more. So I was kind of disappointed when I got home, but I was pleasantly surprised that it still had a great value on it. I only paid $3 for it, and it ended up selling on sale in my eBay store for $89.10. So I'm really happy about that. Here's a cute little Amish cookbook that I picked up for $1, and it sold for $13. Here is a vintage, brand new double pack of playing cards, but they are Southern Railroad. Anything railroad, definitely always look it up, because it usually sells really well. This wasn't a super high-end thing. I only paid 50 cents for it, but it did sell for $19.59. This Jim Shore nativity set, I think I've had it for a couple years. I had purchased around 3 of them. This was, I think, a little bit smaller than the other 2 and didn't sell as well. The other 2 had a couple more pieces to it, and it was a larger one. I did pay up for this one. I paid $45 for it, but it did sell for $120 finally. So I have already shipped it out. Here is a vintage Bible. It's from 1961. It's the New English Bible, and it sold for $25. I have had this vintage cleaver for probably a couple of years. I thought it was super cool when I picked it up, but then it just sat there for a couple of years, didn't sell. And so I paid $8 for it, and it finally sold for $35. Here is a Shakira doll, new in box. I paid $10 for this, and it sold for $52. This next sale I'm super excited about. I did not know about these stickers. I remember using these stickers and having them for my kids when they were growing up. So I'm assuming they're from the early 90s. They are the AGC stickers, which are American greeting cards. That's what they are. American greeting card stickers. They're really not that vintage. But I picked these up down the street. One of my neighbors was having a garage sale just about a month ago. And so I purchased a whole bunch of creative memories stuff from her. And these stickers were in that huge lot. So I pulled these out. I have the creative memory stuff listed separately. So I have about $5 into this sticker lot, and this sold for $85. So keep your eyes open for the AGC stickers. I went to a hoarder estate sale and found so many great things. I don't know if you remember that little vintage radio that was in that red box that I showed in my last video. I picked that up from there. And I also picked this brand new inbox. One of those locked door handles that you'll see when you go to Starbucks and you have to type in the code to get in. It is one of those. They had a price on it of $25, and I was blown away because they were selling between $250 and $300. Unfortunately, when I got it home, I tested it, and the little battery pack that was in it, the batteries come in it, and they were all eroded. Luckily, it was easy to find a replacement from the same company. So I had to pay another $26 for that. I have $51 into this item, but it's sold for $248. So when you're at garage sales and estate sales, keep your eyes open for this type of thing. I was in the basement looking around, and there were so many other resellers looking around too for maybe an hour before I found this. And nobody else picked it up but me. So keep your eyes open. If you saw my Hallmark video back, I don't know, 8 or 9 months ago, you would have seen that I picked up so many 60s and 70s Hallmark stationery. So I have just a few left, and this was one of them. Some of them sold for hundreds of dollars. These that I have left are just not worth that much. So I have $1 into this one, and this one sold for $25. Sometimes I get upset with myself for going on Whatnot and thinking that I can buy stuff and make a good profit off it. I did make profit off of this, but it just wasn't that great. And selling shoes and boots are just not my thing unless they're really specialty. It was a little bit hard to photograph these, but they're gone. And I did buy a few pairs, so I have sold 2 pairs so far, and I still have a few more pairs to list. So I ended up paying with shipping $135 for this pair, but they did sell for $189. So I'm okay. I didn't lose money. It's kind of a lesson to myself. Stay off of Whatnot. Here is a vintage Pirates of the Caribbean t-shirt from, I believe it's from the early 90s. I paid $2 for it a very long time ago, probably a year or so ago. And I think I've dropped the price a few times. Well, somebody did just pick it up for $90. I have had these pots and pans for 31 years. They were a wedding gift, and I decided that I just didn't want them anymore. I cook mostly with cast iron and stainless steel. So I listed these on eBay for $57, and the whole set sold within a couple of weeks. The same person bought both of these books. One of them is Grimm's Fairy Tales, and the other one is Gone with the Wind. I paid $2 for each book, and they both sold for $29.72. I am so excited when I see Dimensions needlepoint little kits like this, because they can do really well, especially if they're Christmas. Always look up the Christmas ones, especially the stockings or the Christmas trees. So I paid 50 cents for this, and it sold for $68. I've had it listed for quite a few months, but I knew as soon as it got closer to Christmas that somebody was going to pick it up. My son and I went to a Barbie buyout. These people had ad listed on either Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, I can't remember, and they had hundreds of Barbies. Well, we get there and their prices are really high, so we really had to pick through which ones. I wasn't feeling good. My knee was still hurting pretty bad, so I couldn't stay as long as I wanted to stay, but we did pick up some decent stuff. But again, their prices were high. So I picked up probably around 4 or 5 of these 50s Barbies. They're called Nifty 50s. So I sold 2 of them overnight, and they sold for $60. So I doubled my money overnight. I'm okay with that. Oh, my customer always pays for shipping. I don't do free shipping. Here are 2 vintage Boy Scout books that I picked up, I don't know when. I don't think it was that long ago. I paid $2 for both of them, and they just sold for $36. Here is another Bible, vintage. It did not say the year in it, but I'm thinking it's somewhere between the 40s and 60s. I paid $1 for it, and it sold for $10. Here is another vintage Bible that also did not have the year in it. I think this one is from the 60s. I paid $1 for it, and it sold for $20. Did you see my last video where I talked about how I went to that estate sale that they were selling hundreds and hundreds of owls, all kinds of figures, jewelry, cookie jars, owl everything. They were definitely a collector of owls. But in their bedroom, they had a few Apollo kits, or there were just a few loose pieces, but they were pretty much already put together. I could not find comps on them while I was there. I even went to a different room to sit down and really try to look them up, and I still could not find comps on them because they were really expensive. They were $65 each. So I think I sold the first one about a month ago for over 200. I think it was 225 or 250. I just sold the second one. It was a little different. This one sold for $389.97. Wow. And those sold quick. I did not have these for very long, so that was pretty exciting. So here are two more of the Barbies that we just picked up at that Barbie haul. So these were $40 each. So I have $80 into both of these. The same buyer bought both of them, and they sold for $190. Profit's not super great, but again, these ones sold overnight. Here is another set of the X-Files books. I sold some last video as well. So I have probably $1 into this because these people at the garage sale just wanted to get rid of them, pretty much gave them away. And this set sold for $30. Sorry if you can hear noise out there. Somebody is mowing the lawn a couple doors down. This Lemax ride, I have sold at least 2 other times. I was at an estate sale. They had a ton of Lemax rides. I think they had 7 or 8 of them. They were asking, I believe it was $65 each for them, and nobody was buying them. I was at that sale for a couple of hours before I finally asked the estate sale owner if he would sell them all to me for $30 each. And he said he would. So I picked them all up. I didn't test any of them. And this one went around and it lit up, but there was no sound, and it still sold for $165. So if you see these Lemax Carnival rides, pick them up. They all do really well. I don't have very many of my Department 56 left, but I sure sold quite a few. There was one of them that sold for $1,200. So always check out the Department 56 houses and villages. This one is a Halloween one. I bought it for $17 and it sold for $50.40. I picked up 2 of these. One was Mrs. Peter Rabbit and the other is Peter Rabbit. So I already sold Mrs. Rabbit. And this one, I paid $1 each for them. The other one I showed in my last video, I sold for $60. And this one just sold for $99. So again, these needlepoint kits, I'm always excited to pick those up. Here is another Barbie that I picked up at that same sale. Again, these sold overnight to the same person. I had 9 of them that were exactly the same. They were all the tail of Peter Rabbit, and she had Peter Rabbit all over her dress. It was so pretty. But there were 9 of them, so they were $15 each. I paid a total of $135 for all of them, and they sold for $270. Here are 3 more Barbies that I sold. I've had these for probably a year or so. I paid $25.50 for all 3 of these. 2 of them I paid $10 each. Another one I paid $5.50. I probably got them at 2 different places. They finally sold because Barbie is hot right now, and all 3 of them sold for $73.36. Here is another Barbie that I got from that buyout. This one was not worth much. I paid $15 for this one, and it sold for $25 again overnight on this one as well. This is my last item, which is one of my favorite things to pick up, is Fitz and Floyd. So this Fitz and Floyd I paid $20 for, and it sold for $125. It still had its original box and the styrofoam, which made it super easy to ship. I was not worried about it breaking. I already got feedback and it was in excellent condition and they were super happy with it. So don't pass up the Fitz and Floyd, but I recommend you always look it up because some of it is not worth your time. So that is it for today. I will finish doing my other solds over the past 3 weeks because this was only half of them. So I will do another video probably pretty quickly and get that one out as well. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that thumbs up if you like this video. Please, please subscribe. And if you want to be notified when I put out another video, hit the bell and it'll give you a quick little notification. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next one.